Let's discuss Tesla stock today. I'll show you my positions on Tesla stock. Also, I'll definitely show you the volatility. We'll analyze the volatility smile, what's happening with historical volatility, strikes and options. Let's look at my table, how I continue to outperform these stocks. But let's start with the very beginning of Tesla stock. What happened this week? This week, Tesla stock rose slightly. Initially, there was a 7% increase, then they didn't drop. Just like last week, as we can see, there was growth, but then the stock dropped, and I sold and opened several strategies. Let's immediately look at the volatility. What's happening here? As we can see, the volatility has increased slightly lately, but it remains in the range of 50 to 55%. Let's switch to the volatility smile. The smile tells us that towards the calls, towards the increase, the volatility doesn't increase, meaning it remains a flat line. But towards the decrease or towards the put options, the volatility increases significantly, which is logical because investors and traders hedge by buying options. And this is a perfectly normal situation when volatility is skewed towards put option. Let's immediately look at the historical implied volatility. Currently, the white line represents implied volatility, and the gray line represents historical volatility. With the decrease in volatility, at the moment, implied volatility is significantly higher than its historical value. Research shows that sooner or later, these volatilities will converge, so we are likely to see a decrease in volatility, which could be played out through options. I want to reiterate my philosophy that it doesn't matter where the stock goes. Yes, you can earn not from the movement of the stock price itself, but from the movement in volatility. Currently, we are seeing a decrease in volatility. I always try to emphasize this point to encourage you to look at trading from a broader perspective. Now, let's move on to the options trading volume. At the moment, the primary volume is concentrated at the $180 and $200 levels for call option. There's also a significant volume concentrated at the $175 and $160 levels for put option. I also want to draw your attention to the fact that we have a very strong trading volume for the week ahead, i.e. for the next week, April 5th. This indicates that trading is mainly focused on near-term options, which of course does not add stability to the stock. Sooner or later, this will certainly affect the stock and its volatility. Let's also pay attention to $180 and $175. As we can see, there are huge walls there. That's why for the past week, Tesla hasn't moved anywhere. As we can see, it reached $180, went up even higher, but this huge options wall didn't let it go higher. Consequently, Tesla also tried to go lower, but again, the options wall didn't let it go lower. So here, it's necessary to understand the logic itself and the fundamental concept of options. When you buy an option, you pay a premium, and it's sold to you by a market maker. Therefore, it's profitable for the market maker if the entire premium expires worthless. Therefore, the longer Tesla stays in this range, the more profit for those who sold the options. So all those who bought options, especially the nearest ones, are losing money. I can tell you for sure, sooner or later, this will end, money runs out, everything ends. And it may take longer than the movement of Tesla stock. Also, in a few weeks, we have Tesla earnings report. I'm starting the reporting season. I will definitely cover this as well. Let's look at the portfolio and see what's happening. I've shown the portfolio. I remind you that I manage a portfolio based on outperforming Tesla stock. And at the moment, with the help of strategies, with the help of buying stock, I outperform Tesla stock. As we can see, the blue line is my strategy and the red line is Tesla stock. I made $60 this week. I've closed out my position. It was a bull put spread. I sold this strategy and received the premium. The strategy was quite good. Therefore, I'll update the table now. Today is March 31st. Let's summarize what's happening. Currently, Tesla is priced at $175. I'll add this to the table and make all the necessary adjustments, all the changes that are needed based on what we have at the moment. My portfolio is growing by almost 6%. Tesla stock is currently falling by 2.5. I'm outperforming Tesla stock by 18%. Yes, the lead is slightly decreasing because Tesla stock has risen again. Also, I want to point out, again, this graph. The blue line represents my strategy, and the red line is Tesla stock. As we can see, my graph shows a smooth growth curve. No jumps down, no jumps up. That's the kind of strategy I'm using. I also advise you to watch my previous videos dedicated to Tesla stock where I explained everything in detail. Let's get back to the stock. What's happening with it? I've already touched on options. I also want to draw your attention to 3D volatility. Few people talk about it, but I sometimes touch on this topic. Professionals will immediately understand how to build a strategy here effectively. I'll touch on this aspect a bit later. What's happening with Tesla stock? Remember my philosophy. I don't know where the stock will go. I have no idea. I can't predict stock movements. My main task is to manage positions effectively. That's it. I need to build a strategy so that no matter which way the stock goes, I will still profit. Success lies in that. When the stock starts to rise, you earn, and so do I. I demonstrate through my own strategies that I employ. In principle, I have other strategies that I surpass. The same goes for stock. I also want to say that haste is not advisable in this business. You need to be as smooth as possible. As you can see, I don't open too many positions at once, and I absolutely do not use any leverage. Everything is done smoothly and as reasonably as possible. This is my strategy and philosophy on risk management. I also want to remind you that I plan to launch an experiment in the future. I will open a new account. I want to fund it with the monetization from YouTube. As soon as I am monetized, I will start. I will open the account and start funding it. My goal is to build a portfolio. Everything will be as public as possible. Everything will be transparent. I will show how I open positions. What positions do I open? What logic do I use? What strategies am I employing? You will see what true professionalism and position management are. We will gradually grow, starting with $10 out of $50 with $100. So subscribe not to miss the beginning of this experiment. Let's return to Tesla stocks. Again, my main task is proficient position management. management. Wherever it goes, I will manage positions buying and selling. Also, I want to clarify that I won't take any risky actions before the report. We will need to watch, analyze the situation, and only then act. I also advise you to watch my previous video about Tesla stock. There, I also talked about my portfolio, my strategies, how I surpassed the portfolio, how I surpassed Tesla stocks, which is my success. Be sure to watch. Good luck to everyone.